Welcome to Thriving Together, the ESOP Advantage. This special episode offers insights from a BDO client highlighting the transformative power of employee stock ownership plans. Tune in to learn more about why companies choose an ESOP and the benefits to the company and their people.
Hello and welcome. In this episode, we're shifting our focus to spotlight a BDO client who successfully transitioned to an ESOP. I'm your host, Blake Head, Managing Director at BDO Capital Advisors, where I lead the ESOP Advisory Services Division. Joining me today is Bruce Ballard, Chairman of the Board and CEO of AMS Retail Solutions. Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you, Blake.
Bruce, can you share a quick background on AMS Retail Solutions?
Blake, I'll be happy to, and it's a pleasure speaking with you today. AMS Retail Solutions provides professional merchandising, brand advocacy, and product knowledge training services to large format American and Canadian retailers. And our services footprint exceeds 14,000 locations across North America.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Bruce, we met around 2017, and at that time, you and your partner, Chris, were looking at liquidity alternatives for AMS. And I remember at that time, we explored sell to an ESOP, we explored sell to a third party. And then you guys came back about a year later and said, hey, ESOP seems to be the best fit for us. That's when we got engaged to help you guys execute the transaction. I'm really excited to have you here, excited to explore some of the reasons behind you and your partner's decision to become an ESOP, as well as what it means for your company and the impact it has had on your organization. Are you ready to jump in?
Yes, sir.
Great. So can you tell me a little bit about your business and why you decided to start exploring a different structure back in 2017?
Certainly. The U.S., and for that matter, North American merchandising services industry has been fiercely competitive and also controlled, believe it or not, by a reasonably small number of very large private equity-owned multi-billion-dollar firms over time. These firms typically have employed tens of thousands of employees, both full and part-time, and they primarily have served the mass merchant, I call it discounter, and grocery sectors of retail. Our company was fortunately founded within the home improvement retail sector just over 25 years ago, and we've thrived within it by creating our own niche, offering a boutique level, highly customized services. Home improvement retailers, by and large, have not embraced the general services offerings typically provided by those multi-billion-dollar competitor firms. So we've enjoyed our highly differentiated competitive position. Understanding how blessed we've been to profitably serve the home improvement retail sector for so many years, we began exploring a structure which would allow our two owners, as you mentioned, Chris and myself, to take steps in a very measured way towards retirement while also offering our phenomenal employees and key executives, a significant stake in the future success of our company.
That's great. Bruce, can you speak a little bit about what other options you guys explored prior to doing ESOP?
Yeah, I'll be happy to, Blake. For starters, I am by no means an expert where M&A transactions are concerned. This being said, our research of options or paths became extensive after we were approached by one of the multi-billion-dollar competitive firms, which was seeking an entry into the home improvement retail sector. We learned a lot from the strategic acquisition experience of that time. So we set out to test the waters with other financial firms who offered to broker our company to the broader market of private equity investors interested in our industry. After reconciling both what we believed either strategic investors or financial investors would change about our business model, we became infinitely more interested in pursuing ESOP as the best structure.
Got it. So it lets you preserve the way you guys do business, I assume, versus kind of going into the hands of the unknown with a much larger buyer.
We just didn't want to put our employees or our clients through the types of changes we understood were likely coming from those sort of transactions. That's exactly right, Blake.
Bruce, what was appealing about an ESOP?
Well, what's appealing to us first and foremost about ESOP transactions really is the fair market valuation that is associated with that. Again, we clearly understood how both strategic and financial investor suitors were willing to value us in a potential transaction. And we were delighted that, a successful ESOP sale would include highly similar outcomes. As a matter of fact, Blake, that was a surprise and a positive one. We were also attracted to the ESOP structure's provisions for corporate governance and for management incentive plans, for future stock options. I think you guys refer to those as warrants, and for trustee services and selection. Further, we really enjoyed the brokering process while negotiating the ESOP structure that best suited AMS. I recall having more than 15 highly reputable U.S. lending institutions compete for originally financing our transaction. And we all know that when banks compete, there's usually a positive outcome for the sellers. We saw the platform of ESOP possibility as just being holistically better for us.
What does it mean to you in your culture, and how does the ESOP help contribute to an ownership mindset?
That's a great question. And that one was paramount, especially to our board in choosing the path of the ESOP. So our employees have really embraced this ownership mindset that we set out for 5+ years ago now. We're not only finding that our HR costs for recruiting and turnover have leveraged nicely, and they certainly have. We've also found that our employees, Blake, believe it or not, are taking better care of themselves, both from an overall health perspective and a safety perspective while on the job with us. That is huge in retail. Personal health and certainly on-the-job safety, really drive, positive equations and outcomes in our financials. As ESOPs begin to mature with continued business success, the culture enrichment, Blake, actually becomes easier and easier. Our employees are now eagerly awaiting the issuance of their annual ESOP statement and all the tangible benefits they've earned together over the prior year. So it's working well that we're now into that 5th and 6th year of progression.
Yeah, thanks for hitting on that. You guys are by no means a mature ESOP, but certainly, going on 5 years and having tremendous share price growth. Can you maybe just elaborate a little bit more about the shift in the mindset of your employees as they, began to receive more shares every year, they're becoming vested or are fully vested, and as that share price has increased? Is there anything you've noticed different between now and when we did the transaction back in 2019?
Yeah, the thing that's most noteworthy for me is we've created a safe environment for employee feedback. Because they are owners, they feel safe in providing feedback. And that has been refreshing. They are offering best practices solutions in our workflow and in our technology and in other client services opportunities that we probably wouldn't have heard from them on in the past. So it's really around improvement, not just from a cost containment standpoint, but it's around improvement in customer service. It's around improvement in workflow. It's around improvement in timekeeping and really kind of just overall efficiency and effectiveness. It's the value proposition that our employees are now fully bought into that we have been just absolutely delighted by.
That's great. Yeah, if you can take someone from being in that hourly paid mentality to really thinking like an owner, that really has to improve company performance. That's great. Thank you. So Bruce, BDO served as your advisor through this process, as you know. Can you talk a little bit about how we guided you and what that experience was like from a seller's perspective?
Sure. Blake, the process was clear, it was timely, it was accountable, and it was honestly enjoyable for myself, my partner, and our board at the time. BDO has such amazing relationships within the broader, I call it ESOP marketplace, which includes lenders, trustees, legal firms who are specially equipped for ESOPs, and highly satisfied former clients like me now, who business owners who are considering ESOPs can engage with from a referral opportunity standpoint. So I think BDO just orchestrated a masterful workflow for the transaction, beginning with the feasibility analysis and initial estimate of our value, And then following with that lender, trustee, and legal partner selection, which all culminated in a fair market transaction benefiting the business owners, the employee owners, and our company clients. It was the right recipe at the right time.
Thanks, Bruce. Those are really nice words. Was there anything that surprised you either during or after the ESOP transaction that you want to talk about?
So I was honestly surprised how smoothly it went, during the entire process, kind of including the closing of the transaction. And I've been even more surprised at how my former co-owner and I are still truly enjoying working every day within the firm while seeking the very best returns for our employee owners. We've been compensated well from the transaction that was done on the company, and we are still extraordinarily motivated day in and day out to drive the value equation that the ESOP has set us up for, as well as our employees. It was honestly the very best thing either of us have ever done in our professional careers, and we wouldn't change anything. And if we had to do it over again, we would do it the same way, Blake.
As we wrap up, what would you tell someone considering establishing an ESOP?
I'd say first, immerse in the details of how and why ESOPs are so incredibly successful for thousands of firms, big and small and medium sized, maybe like we are. There are hundreds of industries in the U.S. today where thousands of ESOP companies thrive. We may have never been in such a highly constrained labor market as we are now, and creating employee ownership opportunity within a market as challenged as the U.S. labor market is today is proving to be a highly significant differentiator for firms like ours, which truly depend on high quality employees to be constantly attracted to and choose to stay long term with their businesses. The bottom line is that publicly owned and private equity owned organizations simply do not embody that career employee progression that ESOPs benefit from. That used to be the mindset of companies across the country years and years ago. You wanted that 20, that 30, that 40-year employee. That doesn't seem to be the case today. ESOP companies have pivoted that mindset and are making that character of commitment and loyalty to business a cool thing again. And it's a win-win-win when you are able to persuade employees through an ESOP transaction that is, in fact, their best path.
Thank you. Well said. I can't tell you, Bruce, how many times a guest on this podcast has mentioned that win-win-win scenario. But it's true, right? If structured correctly, it should provide a great outcome for the company, the selling shareholders, and the employees. And I just love how that theme independently comes up almost every time we do this. I want to thank you so much for taking the time today to share your insights and experiences with us. Your story is a true testament to the benefits and opportunity that an ESOP can bring to a company and its employees. I'm fortunate enough to have not only worked on your project 5 years ago, but also to stay in touch and have you as a close friend. Listeners, to learn more about AMS Retail Solutions, visit merchandisers.net. Also, if you're considering an ESOP or want to explore how it can benefit your organization, please contact us at bdo.com/ESOP.
Thank you for joining us on Thriving Together, the ESOP Advantage podcast. Episodes, resources, and contact information associated with this podcast are available at bdo.com/ESOP. Until next time, thank you for listening. Investment banking products and services within the United States are offered exclusively through BDO Capital Advisors, LLC, a separate legal entity and affiliated company of BDO USA PC, a Virginia professional corporation. For more information, visit bdocap.com. Certain services may not be available to attest clients under the rules and regulations of public accounting. BDO Capital Advisors, LLC, member FINRA SIPC.